Happy Thursday, everyone. I'm student meteorologist Genevieve Rejock with your evening edition of FSU Weather. Let's take a look at that sun peeking through. Wispy clouds up in the sky. Sun is still coming through. It's definitely coming through. 86 degrees, mostly cloudy. Pretty warm out there. Some slight winds coming out of the northwest at 8 miles per hour. Those temperatures are going to continue for the Big Bend region. 86 here in Tallahassee. The coolest we will see on this map is down in Apalachicola, getting that sea breeze, and Thomasville up in Georgia. The radar is looking pretty nice, though. No showers for Tallahassee, maybe some pop-ups, but for the most part, we shouldn't be seeing anything. Though if you are north of Cross City, you can't rule out a shower or two. For the headlines for today's beautiful show, so it rained yesterday for the first time in a while. Will we see that continue? We also have the rain continuing for the northeast. And with that rain, we have cold, cold temperatures. How low is it really going to get? All that and more on FSU Weather.
Good evening and welcome into Thursday, October 13th episode of FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Ryan Stewart. Hope you've had a great start to the day. It's been a hot one out in Tallahassee so far, but we do have a lot to talk about in tonight's show. We've got some cooler weather pushing through the southeast and that will make its way down to us. We'll keep an eye out for maybe even low temperatures getting into the 30s by this time next week. We've got rain throughout the northeast, which canceled the Yankees and Guardians game today. That'll be played tomorrow. And then we've also got Thursday Night Football in Chicago, where a kickoff, it'll be about 40 degrees. We've got Bears Commanders. I've got my orange and blue on to cheer on the Bears. We've got the latest on Tropical Storm Carl, where it's going to be making its impacts in Mexico. And then dry, hot weather out in the plains in the west, where we're going to be looking at some wildfire weather. Nico's going to have more on that later on. And then like I mentioned, it's going to be a little bit cooler coming up, so we've got about a week to prepare for what the models are saying will be a little bit cooler weather. So it's going to be very fun to see how that plays out. Of course, models are not always accurate, but models are starting to pick up and get concise on temperatures in the 40s and 30s for lows, with daytime highs in the 70s, maybe low 80s. Of course, we'll keep you up to date on all of that throughout the next week on FSC Weather. Now I'm going to pass things off over to Nico, who's going to have a look at what's coming up in the forecast for Tallahassee. Nico.
Thank you, Ryan. All right, so we've got our live look at Doak Campbell Stadium, the camera. We always have this every night. We've got some wispy clouds, and we've got a nice sunset coming in this evening. There isn't any rain today, unlike yesterday. However, it's still warm out. It's 86 degrees. Your winds are shifting towards the northwest, though, with the approaching cold front that's coming through the area, although it won't do too much to our temperatures. As you can see, it hit 89 degrees today. That's only 1 degree off from what the record high was back in 2017 at 90. We were nowhere near our record low 38. 69 is way above average, but those temperatures could get close to record lows next week. Currently around our area, it's 86 in Tallahassee. We have 80s area-wide, except maybe along the coast there's some 70s, but they're not showing up on here, so even then I'm not so sure about that. But your heat index, we don't have a heat index right now. It's not very humid in Tallahassee, unlike yesterday. Crawfordville has a little bit of humidity. Your heat index is in the 90s. That's the only 90-plus degree heat index that I currently see. I'm waiting for the next graphic to pop up. All right, here's our dew points. You can see where the sea breeze is at right now, coming right into Leon County. A 62 degree dew point right now in Tallahassee, which is not too high, but it's not too low either. So it is a little bit muggy, but not to the point where it has been. But if you're going down to the beach, it's going to feel very muggy at the beach right now. Here's what we're watching there right now, our drought monitor. Yesterday was the first time we had any rain in Tallahassee since September 12th. We need a lot more rain than what we got yesterday. We had very little rain. Areas around us had more, but we did not get a lot. We need rain here, and we'll have to look later in the forecast and see if we're going to get any. Tallahassee is now officially in the yellow area. It was not last week, and look at to your north and your west. You have a more severe drought up there, and this is when you can end up getting forest fires, so that's definitely not good. And here's your dry air around the whole southeast until you get south of I-4, and then it's very wet in South Florida right now. You have big storms going through the Miami area if you're out and about in that region today. But as you zoom into your Tallahassee radar, we don't have very much of anything around Tallahassee. The only thing we have on our radar is a couple showers way southeast of here, maybe near Perry and Cross City, headed towards Gainesville area. But tonight it's going to be a clear night. We don't expect any precipitation tonight. It's going to be 62 degrees in Tallahassee. It's going to be 65 along the coast. Up here, though, 59 degrees in Bainbridge and Thomasville. That's going to definitely feel nice as you get to the north. And a look at your future radar. We don't have anything coming in the next day. It's going to be a dry day, and it's going to stay that way for the Clemson game on Saturday. And as you look at your week ahead, there's our football game on Saturday, a big game against Clemson. It's going to be warm and nice, but look at your temperatures next week. It could be in the 30s on Thursday morning. But now I'm going to pass things off to Genevieve.
Thank you so much, Nico. Yeah, that warm temperature is definitely sticking around for the entirety of Florida, but unlucky for those in South Florida, bringing lots of clouds and rain. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's see our area cameras for the beautiful Sunshine State. Isn't so sunny right now. We're seeing clouds at all of our locations. Daytona Beach, I can't even see you. That really, it could all be gray and it would look the same. So quite gloomy. Our water vapor is going to follow that. So we have that front here that we've been talking about gracing through us soon in the next coming day. And ahead of the front where we see this color is the moist air. And behind it where we see the black and the brown, the darker colors, is where our really dry air comes in. So dry, cooler air, making it for much more comfortable days here at FSU. Our radar is going to follow that water vapor. We see a lot of storms coming through the South Florida region of the state. Really, I really want to stress to bring your rain boots, your rain jacket, stay inside if you can. If you are flying out of MIA or Fort Lauderdale, to maybe change your flight if you can. Avoid any delays or cancellations because there is a lot of storms. I don't know if you can fly out at the moment, but Miami-Dade County, Broward County, going into the Keys, into Monroe County, and north of the counties I just listed as well. Seeing a lot of rain, so stay inside, get that homework done, get that work done, try to be productive. The nice fall temperatures, I don't know if they're in South Florida, but the rain can sometimes make it feel like it. Light a candle, maybe. We'll see up further into Central Florida where we will have some showers that are tailing off from those in South Florida. But really, you're just seeing a lot of clouds. If you are a little bit towards the north in Central Florida, you might see a pop-up shower or two. And then heading up further north, closer to the panhandle of Florida, we're seeing those clouds through west of Daytona Beach, pop-up shower, as I said, by that I-4 region. And for Tallahassee, we're seeing some clouds, but really no rain, which we got that yesterday. We're good for now. Current conditions, 86 here in Tallahassee. Really 80s and going into the upper 70s as we see that rain brings that slight cool down that South Florida always needs but never really sees. That dew points also really dewy. So dewy outside. It's really warm out here in Tallahassee. We're getting some relief with that cold front to come, and that rain is just going to come through the region. And Ryan, the southeast, are they getting any relief? Are we seeing some nice clear conditions? What are we seeing?
The southeast, on the other hand, is looking quite all right. Unlike the rest of Florida, the southeast looking quite all right. Taking a look at our satellite radar, you know, the showers that Genevieve pointed out kind of in South Florida, but for the most part, the southeast is looking pretty clear. A few clouds around, but nothing too much to talk about there. Again, radar in South Florida looking a little active, but the rest of the area looking quite all right. 77 degrees in Little Rock, you're seeing a lot of sun. Nashville, you saw some storms move through yesterday, 68 right now, 74 in Atlanta, 75 in Charlotte. You're looking really great. Dew points, so you notice that where it's kind of a rust color, that's where it's a little more comfortable out, not as humid. When I was walking over here a little bit earlier, it was very humid. 62 is the dew point right now in Tallahassee. Across most of the southeast, you're looking at 50s. even 65 in New Orleans, but 26 in Nashville and Little Rock. That's very comfortable weather, great to be out and about. But taking a look at our drought monitor, you'll notice Nico brought up that Tallahassee is in a little bit of a drought, but it's more than just Tallahassee it's not seeing any rain. It's most of the plains, Oklahoma, and even into Texas. Most of the plains is not getting any rain, and that will continue for the next few days. You notice on our futurecast, you'll see a couple of showers pop up over Arkansas, even into Tennessee. Those will move through pretty quick, nothing really to notice there, but with our rainfall forecast again, Arkansas is where you're going to see a lot of rain, and then central and south Florida, you'll also see rain popping up throughout the area. So tonight's forecast around the southeast is looking really great. 51 in Little Rock, 48 in Nashville, 52 in Montgomery, 69 in New Orleans, 61 in Charleston. A little bit warmer when you get into central and south Florida, mid to upper 70s for tonight. But tomorrow is looking great, especially if you're up in Nashville, Montgomery, Atlanta. I wish I could be there. It looks really nice right now. Orlando, Tampa, Miami, you're going to see some storms start to move through. But overall, it is looking great for most of the southeast. 86 out in Little Rock and 88 in Shreveport. So you're getting a little bit warm out there, but the humidity is not really there as much as is here in Florida. 78 out in Charleston. So if you are going out to the coastal Carolina, it looks really great. I wish I could be out in coastal Carolina as well. That just looks really, really nice for this time of year. 73 up in Charlotte. So we are seeing a little bit of below average temperatures, especially overnight. But temperatures for this time of year are looking very, very nice. You notice a lot of Florida is a little bit warmer than the rest of the southeast. But still, even then, Nashville, Atlanta, you are looking very, very comfortable. I wish I could be out in Atlanta, maybe even watching the Braves as they make their run at the playoffs. Ariana, what do you have to talk about?
Well, I don't know about the Braves winning, but I'm hoping that the Yankees are going to pull through and win the World Series. So right now in the Northeast, the Yankees game that I was talking about actually got postponed until tomorrow, and that is all due to this cold front that is working through the Northeast right now. It is bringing bouts of rain through Pennsylvania, New York, all those northeastern regions. But that is some good news because you can see some states in the Northeast are experiencing droughts, like in Massachusetts and New Hampshire. But so that rain is bringing some relief and hopefully will relieve some of those drought-like conditions. And you can see on the visible satellite where those clouds are and really scattered all throughout the Northeast, bringing those sunny days to an end. But that will change here in the future. So in terms of instability, cloud cover and rain is limiting the severe threat. However, we can expect those stronger winds to work throughout the region. That is why the Northeast is in a marginal risk for severe weather today and possibly could see a tornado or two. So if you are in that area, remember to look out for that. In terms of flood potential, we are going to see lots of rain today and going into tomorrow. So that is why we have a slight risk for flooding in these northeastern states today. And then as we head into the future, we can see the future cast and how it's going to push through. All that rain is going to move farther north into Maine and into Canada. So really helping those states that are experiencing the worst of the drought to relieve some of the drought-like conditions. For tomorrow, you can see as that cold front is going to push north and east, it is going to work into Maine, and that's where the flood potential is going to move tomorrow. In terms of rainfall and what we can expect, our hardest hit areas are looking into Massachusetts and into the New Hampshire and Maine border. We're expecting to see about 6 to 7 inches of rain throughout the area in the Northeast over the next couple of days. And in terms of the Yankees that I started talking about, you know, the game got postponed today, but no fear because tomorrow the sun is going to return after that cold front has worked through the region. We can expect sunny conditions by the game's start time at 1 p.m. first pitch. I'm very excited, and I'm hoping these sunnier conditions are going to stick around throughout the rest of the week and into next week as another cold front is going to bring some cooler temperatures. So right now, those 60-degree marks are quite cold for me down in Florida, but hopefully those people in the Northeast are used to these fall-like conditions and will persist as you head into the future. So in terms of sunny conditions in the Northeast, the tropics are starting to heat back up, right?
Yeah, so we're looking at a couple systems in the tropics right now. If you can believe it or not, we're already midway through October. So we're entering that final third of the North Atlantic hurricane season, that final home stretch. It's definitely not a time to let your guard down. Plenty of dangerous storms have popped up in the final third of the season. Many storms actually pop up after the season actually ends. So right now, we're still going to have to keep a strong look at the tropics. But taking a look at the Atlantic Basin right now, so right now we have, right here in the Bay of Campeche, we're looking at Tropical Storm Carl, which is churning away right there as a low-level tropical storm. And down in over off the coast of Africa, we're looking at a tropical wave that is seemingly pretty disorganized right now. But I want you guys to focus as we go on later into the season more into the Gulf of Mexico, because later on in the season, storms start to form more in this region of the Gulf of Mexico, Caribbean, near Central America, more so than compared to the storms we see earlier in the season that start off the tropical waves off the coast of Africa. Now, our area to watch right now is this region off the coast of Africa. Seems really disorganized. There's a 0% chance of formation in the next 48 hours, but there is a 20% chance in the next 5 days. Now, the reason for that increase in chance for development is because of these warm sea surface temperatures. Now, these storms need a lot of energy, so these high temperatures in the ocean produce that energy for these storms to get stronger. Now, as it goes more towards the west, towards South America and into the Caribbean, you can see that there are pockets of water that is very, very warm and more likely for development. The NOAA Climate Prediction Center actually recently forecasted that there's a 75% chance that La Nina will continue on. So that might mean that we might get more storms later on into the season, even past the actual deadline that we have, that is the end of November. So looking at Tropical Storm Carl for right now, it's producing a lot of rain. It's only at 45 miles per hour. It's a pretty weak tropical cyclone in terms of wind, but this system is more of a rain event. It's going to be producing lots of rain for the whole Bay of Campeche area, well, part of the Yucatan Peninsula, and it's going to be pretty significant event for this region. As you can see from the visible satellite, it's already starting to weaken just a little bit. There's actually a jet that's right above it that is bringing some dry air and weakening it just a little bit, and it's steering it a little bit south towards the Mexican mainland. And as you can see, the upper level water vapor, all that water vapor is hogging right here around the Yucatan Peninsula, and this jet is actually pushing that dry air into the left side of the storm, weakening it a little bit, keeping most of that moisture, unfortunately, onto the Yucatan Peninsula. And the thing about this water vapor is that it'll create a lot of precipitation. There's tropical storm warnings all the way from Veracruz up to Ciudad del Carmen. So people in the regions of Tabasco, Oaxaca, and Veracruz will need to take caution because due to the mountainous topography of the region, there's going to be landslides and flash flooding that is going to affect a lot of people in this region. The storm will weaken as it goes closer to the coast, but that rain will persist. The rain will keep going all throughout the mainland, producing a lot of flash flooding and horrible, possibly devastating precipitation for the region. The rainfall forecast does not seem very, very good for the region, and I want people to please keep an eye out for those strong precipitations. Now, taking a look at our hurricane season preparation, remember, even though it's the final home stretch of the season, I want you guys to stay prepared because we are not going to be able to finish this safely if we don't keep an eye out. Now I'm passing it off to the desk.
Thank you, Nicholas, for that beautiful and really in-depth look at our tropics, see what's going on. But locally, close to home, what are we seeing?
We're going to see some cooler temperatures. We're going to have a cold front this week. It will pass through our area as we head into the next couple of days. So it's going to bring some drier conditions. The sunny skies are going to return, so no more rain. I know it was like few and far between here, but it was very exciting for that.
Drier conditions, you'll start to feel like fall. We're in October. I mean, getting into mid-October, we should really be seeing some nicer conditions. And looking at our 6 to 10 days, so Tuesday through Saturday, we're going to see some below average temperatures, aren't we?
That is right. It could potentially get down into the 30s.
Wow.
And I am not excited about that. I'm more of like a warm weather type of gal.
Me too.
Or 30s I think is a little bit cool.
I think 40s is freezing, in my humble opinion.
No, yes, but you can see the lows compared to average, and on Tuesday they're going to be a little bit north of us, but as we go ahead in time, they are going to slowly creep down this way.
Yes, so prepare, get that pumpkin spice latte if you can. Go to Starbucks. Now is the time to transition from the cold drinks to the warm drinks.
That is right, and you can see the 7-day outlook on the screen right now. That 39 degrees is quite, it sticks out on that screen to you, does it not?
Shiver me timbers, Ariana, if I may say. Football, we're looking pretty nice for Saturday, but that cool temperatures we're going to see going into next week. 43-degree low I just saw on that map.
Everybody start, I guess, to break out some of your winter gear.
Absolutely.
So we're actually going to pass it off to the wall right now.
Thank you. So we're actually going to be talking about some fire weather next. I'm going to be waiting for if my graphics to pop up. The machine can be slow. There we go. This is not a combination that you want to see when you have fire weather, a high wind warning and a fire weather watch. If it's dry out and it's windy, you're going to have fires, and that's a problem. And this is why. You've got your high winds going into a very dry part of the country right now, and we've got these fire weather warnings. There's a small area about them on our graphics a few days ago. They have expanded to a lot more of the country now, and here's your reason why. Look at our dew points. A 9-degree dew point, that is very dry air. But your warmest, or not warmest, but your highest dew point that I see anywhere in this area is your 35-degree dew point in Memphis. So your dew points are very dry in the entire area, and you've got your winds coming way out of the north pretty fast. You got 60 mile-per-hour wind gusts right now in Pierre, South Dakota. That means if you accidentally drop a cigarette or something here and it's that dry, you're going to create a big giant wildfire, and this is why you need to be careful in these kinds of conditions. Even though it looks sunny and it looks nice out, it's not going to be if you start a wildfire, and you will regret it. This whole area is in a critical area for fire weather today. In the plains where you had the 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Pierre, they're right in the middle of it. This continues to go south tomorrow, extending anywhere from Cheyenne, Wyoming, all the way to Wichita, Kansas. In October, the plains tend to be dry, so this is something that does happen out there at this time of the year. But some wildfire awareness tips, according to the NWS in Tallahassee: don't burn outside when it's this dry and it's this windy. It will go all over the place. And discard your cigarettes, don't be careless with them, and keep your vehicles off the dry grass. The fumes from that can actually start fires, believe it or not. But now I'm going to pass things off to Ariana.
That is right, and with the sunny conditions do come those fire threats. But across our area in FSU, you can see a few clouds lingering in the sky, but sunny conditions, drier than we have seen over the past couple of hours earlier into late night last night. And in terms of the weather and your travel, no delays at Tallahassee International, and that sticks around for most of the country. Outside of New York at JFK Airport, you're going to see some delays just due to that cold front that is producing bouts of rain in the Northeast right now. With our soccer, it's actually happening right now, and you can head out to watch the match. It's going to start off with temperatures at 81, but it will dip down into the low 70s by the match's end. And in terms of football, I know my dad's a huge Bears fan, so he's going to love to watch this game tonight. But temperatures are going to be nice and cool at 45, and really not much difference as you head into the game's end at 12 a.m. with temperatures at 42. However, if you are going out tonight in College Town, you can expect some drier skies, clear conditions. Temperatures are going to be dipping down into the 60s by 2 a.m., so maybe bring a jacket if you are headed outdoors. And I was talking about the sun returning to our area. Tomorrow is going to be a great day to head outdoors, drier conditions in the atmosphere, so it's going to make for some sunnier skies as well. Temperatures are going to be about 86 with a light wind coming out of the northwest at 8 miles per hour. For sports, though, across FSU, tomorrow we're going to have softball. They're starting off their fall ball against Wallace Community College, and temperatures are going to be nice and calm, 84 degrees, and then by game's end, it's going to be about 67. Volleyball is indoors. It's at Virginia, so it's going to be a little bit chilly as you work farther north because of that cold front, bringing some cooler temperatures up there. But by the game's end, it's going to be 53 at 10 p.m. And the big matchup here in Tallahassee this weekend is Florida State versus number 4 Clemson. I know I'm going to be there with some of my family, and I actually think they're from Pennsylvania, so I think they brought some of that cooler air down here with them. So by the game's end, it should be about 65, but sunny conditions and no umbrella needed. So that's always some good news. And as we look at our weekend forecast, you can see the football game is going to be taking place on Saturday, but the sunny skies are going to stick around as we head into the weekend.
I'm definitely looking forward to the football game this weekend. A lot of people were asking me, are you a Clemson fan because you're wearing an orange tie? No, I'm not. I'm a Bears fan, and that's the reason for the orange tie. One last look around Tallahassee. Nice looking sunset across Tallahassee, much of the Panhandle night. 86 right now, cloudy, looking quite comfortable for next night. Current temperatures right now, we've got 83 up in Bainbridge, 81 down in Apalachicola, so those are kind of our cool spots, even a 79 up in Thomasville. Perry, 80 degrees. Tallahassee, sitting at about 86 degrees, so still quite warm out. I know as I was walking over here, I might have mentioned earlier, it is a little hot out. We did have a couple of showers pop up earlier, but those faded out pretty quickly, so really our radar is looking very clear. Futurecast will continue to look clear. Nothing to see really. Just a couple winds, and then the winds will subside as we get into later in the day tomorrow. Overall tonight in Tallahassee, we're looking at about 59 degrees. So it's going to be a little bit cool if you're going out tonight. You're going to want maybe something to keep you warm, whether it be a windbreaker or a jacket. No winds to talk about though. And then for the week ahead, we are looking very nice. 86 degrees on Friday. We're again up to 88 for game day. So it's going to be a little bit on the warmer side for the Clemson FSU game. 89 degrees by Sunday, but then we start that cool down Monday into Tuesday. They were talking about the 30s returning by Wednesday, Thursday next week. I'm actually looking forward to that. I know they're not, but again, I like cooler weather. So Nikos, what do we have?
I definitely am very excited for that colder weather. Being from Miami, we don't get that too often. Like our winter is actually probably what's going to be next week, the temperatures next week. So I'm pretty excited for those temperatures. It's a good change of pace. And I'm also happy that, unlike what's happening in New York, our games aren't going to get canceled. We're going to have sunny skies. Definitely excited to be at that Clemson FSU game at Doak Campbell Stadium on Saturday night. It's going to be really crazy.
Yeah.
What are your plans for the weekend, Nico?
I'm going to be at the game too on Saturday. Hopefully we can upset the number 4 team in the country at home with the nice conditions. It's going to stay nice this entire weekend. And it'll be hot during the day for tailgating, but as it cools off, it may not feel horribly bad because you get the sun setting over the stadium, and you're not going to have the sun like the Wake Forest game a couple weeks ago where everyone gets sunburnt with the sun beating down into the stadium. So it'll be nice to not have that this time.
Yeah, good thing it's a night game also. Just the atmosphere is going to be nicer. The conditions are going to be nicer. It's going to be overall, I think, an amazing experience. I haven't been to an FSU Clemson game yet as a junior, so I think it's going to be very, very exciting. And so if you guys would like to follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/FSUweather and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/FSUweather.
And if you also want to watch us live on YouTube like you are right now every night, watch us on www.youtube.com/FSUweather, and you can follow us on Instagram at FSUweather. You can always send pictures to us if you get them, and we may or may not end up posting them on our accounts. But this is student meteorologist Nico Sapienza.
I'm student meteorologist Nicholas Porcelli. Thank you for joining us today. And we're going to leave you off with a 7-day outlook of the conditions for Tallahassee.